Hello and welcome to your third tutorial on Bootstrap. Today we'll talk about buttons and some other extra things. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to YouTube and just find a random video. Find a random video that you like, click on it, click share, embed, copy the iframe and paste it in your body section like this. And so when we save and refresh on our page, we get it right here. However, as we can see, it is not responsive at all. So let's go ahead and add in a div. Type in class =, 2 quotation marks, type in embed responsive, and then embed responsive again, and then we're going to type in 4x3. So this is the division of the page, 4x3. And so now when we save and refresh, and we get our YouTube video right here, and it is completely responsive. So this was just a little something that you can do, and so let's get rid of it. We don't need it. And next up, let's write a div tag. So let's go ahead and write in a div tag. Type in class =, 2 quotation marks, and inside type in well. Let's also give it text, so it will be normal well. Close your div, and so when we save and refresh, you can see we get our text with some background color in the back. And let's duplicate this and let's add in well sm, and we learned that this means small, so we now have a smaller one as well. And also padding is also added to this, however it isn't for small. And lastly, let's add in a large one, so change sm for large. Do the same here. Now when we save and refresh, we get a larger background. So let's move on and let's type in div class =, 2 quotation marks, and let's type in alerts and danger. So this is something that you do in JavaScript, so we won't go too further into it. And so now when we save and refresh, we just get this red line. And let's also just add in a strong tag, and let's type in danger here so we get the word. And let's also close our div. And so now when we save and refresh, we get something that looks a little like this. And so let's move on to talking about buttons. So go ahead and type in the button tag, and let's give it a class =, 2 quotation marks, and let's type in button, so btn, and another btn with a line. And let's also type in default, so this will be our default button, and just name it default as well. Default. Close your button tag. So now when we save and refresh, we get our default button. Let's move on to creating another button. So let's change this one with, let's say, info, which is information, just like we did in the last lesson. And as you can see, we get a blue button with information. Let's change info for danger. So this is the danger button. Save and refresh. Here we go. Let's change danger for, let's say, warning. Do the same on both places. Here we have our warning button. We can change it for link as well, which is something new. So it will be a button for links. Save, refresh. Here we have it. Let's also change it with success, and when we save and refresh, we get our success button. We can also change it to primary, and so when we save and refresh, we get our primary button as well. We can also make buttons with input type, so type in input type =, 2 quotation marks, and go ahead and type in button. And let's give it a class as well, =, 2 quotation marks, btn and btn info, so this will be a dark blue. And we also give it a value which will equal IMP button, so input button, and when we close it and save refresh, we get our input button just here. Let's go ahead and type in another input type button, so you can just duplicate it. Let's change button with submit, and let's keep everything the same besides this, so just change it to submit as well. And when we save and refresh, we get our input submit button. And what we can also do is duplicate it once more and then add in a tag, a ref, and let's just leave it blank. So just add in a hashtag and leave it, and also make a class attribute =btn and let's type in info, for example, and we can also type in another feature which is btn block, and let's also type in role button as it's a button, and we can write link button so they know what it is. And let's close our a tag, and so when we save and refresh, we get a button which covers the whole web page. And so as you can see, it spreads through the whole web page. And so let's continue and let's add in some BR tags just like this, so we get some space. And let's add in a div class =2 quotation marks, and let's type in btn group. So let's add in a button tag, and let's type in class =2 quotation marks. Inside we're going to type btn, and the first one let's do primary, and let's write something like BMW. Close your button. Let's duplicate this 3 times, Lexus for example, and for this one let's add in Mercedes. And they're all going to be the same. And let's close our div tag, and now when we save and refresh, Mercedes, let's close this div properly, let's save and refresh, and so we get a vertical button which is all joined up together of, let's say, just car brand names. And we can do the same thing vertically as well. Let's copy it, paste it here, add in vertical over here, and now when we save and refresh, we get a vertical version as well, as you can see. And if we want, we can make the buttons bigger as well, so I can put button btn lg, save, refresh. We can see that BMW is now bigger, and I can add it to all of them if I like, and save, refresh, we get it bigger. And let's copy and paste it one more time, and let's copy this and paste it one more time. Let's get rid of vertical like this, and let's add in btn group justified like this, and let's change button for a tags like this. Let's add in just blank pages like this, copy, paste, and let's do it one more time for this one. And so when I save and refresh, you can see that I now get one of these buttons full length, and it's responsive as well. And what we can also do is, let's say for warning, we can add in active, and so when we save and refresh, you can see that acting changed colors. You can see that warning changed colors, And so we can also add in, let's say, for warning, active, and watch carefully for warning. So here we can see that it changes color, so it looks like the color when we hover over one of our buttons. We can write disabled, let's say for danger, and so when I save and refresh, danger is now disabled. I can make any of them smaller, so I can make link smaller, btn sm. Link is now a little bit smaller, as you can see. I can make it bigger if I like. Save, refresh, it gets bigger. And let's move on. Let's add in a BR tag over here, and let's continue. And so let's add in another button tag. Type in class equals sign 2 quotation marks btn, and let's make it primary. And let's write about, just some text, anything. And let's add in our span tag, give it a class. The value is badge, and 5, let's say, just any number. You can write in any number. Close your span tag, and let's also close our button tag. And so now when we save and refresh, now let's save and refresh, and as you can see, I now have two span badges over here with the values 5 and about. I can change this one, so let's say contacts, and save, refresh. You can see the difference. And I can also change my span class badge to label default. And so when we save and refresh, you can also see the difference. The background of the 5 turns into a dark blue, so it merges with the button. And so yeah, that was all that I had prepared for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.